Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. Today we are looking at the Mapleson classification. So we already saw another video where we discussed the Mapleson circuits. So now let's look at the classification. To begin with, type A. This is a Mapleson circuit type A. So what is the other name of this type A? The type A, the other name is the Magill's. And what is a fresh gas flow rate? FGF rate. So what is this FGF rate? So under FGF rate, there is a spontaneous ventilation as well as a controlled ventilation. So the spontaneous ventilation is 1 minute ventilation. It is 1 minute ventilation, that is a MV, and that is about 80. So it is about 80 ml per kg per minute. Next is we look at the controlled ventilation. The control ventilation is nothing but it is very high and it is difficult to predict. Next we move on to the type B. So in terms of type B, there are no other names. Now we look at the FGF, the fresh flow rate. So in terms of FGF, there is a fresh gas flow, FGF, fresh gas flow rate. So here, in case of spontaneous ventilation, it includes the 2 to 3. It goes 2 to 3 into the MV, that is a minute ventilation. And in case of controlled ventilation, there is 2 to 2.5 into MV. Next, we move on to type C. So type C, here the other names include, it is waters to and fro. Other name is a waters to and fro. So what is the spontaneous ventilation? The spontaneous ventilation here is about 2 to 3 times the MV, and the control ventilation is also about 2.5 into MV. So this is nothing but the type C. Next we move on to the type D. So what happens in case of the type D? So type D, it includes a Bain circuit. And what is the SV? The spontaneous ventilation, it is about 2 to 3 times the MV, and the control ventilation is about 1 to 2 times the MV. Next we move on to the E. So E, there is a Aries D piece. It is also known as a Aries D piece. We already spoke in the other video that Aries ends with E, so it is E circuit. And this is spontaneous ventilation. So spontaneous ventilation is 2 to 3 times of the MV. And what about the controlled ventilation? So controlled ventilation is again, it is 3 times the MV. Lastly, we move on to the F circuit. So how is the F? In terms of F, it is also known as a Jackson-Rees modification. It is known as a Jackson-Rees modification. So Jackson-Rees modification, looking at the spontaneous ventilation, it is about 2 to 3 times that of the MV. Then when you look at the controlled ventilation, it is about the 2 times of the MV. So let's take a note of what and all are present. The efficiency of the Mapleson circuit. The efficiency of the Mapleson circuit, M circuit, is a spontaneous ventilation. In case of spontaneous ventilation, so we are going to see the order. The order includes A is greater than DFE, and this is greater than CB. Okay, so A greater than DFE, greater than CB. Then comes, we look at the another hierarchy, that is in case of the efficacy of the Mapleson circuit. The efficacy of Mapleson circuit. So here it is controlled ventilation. It is nothing but the controlled ventilation. So what does it include? So here, in order of controlled ventilation, there is a DFE, the TFE. This is greater than the BC, greater than A. So in terms of the spontaneous, it was A greater than DFE greater than CB. Here it is DFE greater than BC greater than A. So this was all about the Mapleson classification. To learn and grow daily like this, please do subscribe.